Yes. Okay, this is Friday morning, Thursday night. Okay, I found this on well, sent to me on from Twitter. Twitter has some purpose out there about this happened on a plane in January in China. I forget where it was. But anyway, a guy on a plane said he was on a time loop. Here, I'll just read it. Pause this thing's going crazy. Let's see. He was on a time loop, and he was on a 6th cycle. And the cycle he claims that the plane crashed and everyone died. Then he returned to this point. God, it was on a Chinese airliner in January, and I believe the plane was in the air when he was doing this. He said the flight attendant wasn't human; it was a robot who was changing her battery. Okay, the plane. Okay, that was before it took off. It didn't hit. The plane ended up not flying after multiple passengers became worried, and the man responsible for the panic was arrested. He was sent to a professional medical institution. You don't wonder why. Ouch. So there's that. Jeez. I mean, the amount of detail that went into that. You're the guy who, it's hard to tap into that one. I'll have to channel that energy. Apparently, going crazy on a plane is becoming more popular these days. It used to be hijackings. I don't think people are. We're in a modern age of we don't know anything, but it was back in the 50s and the 60s. Planes were hijacked all the time, like it was no big deal. It's like, I mean, literally, they didn't do anything to really prevent it. Not enough. Of course, now they're treating us all like criminals when we go on a plane these days, which kind of gives you an idea of the agenda that's going on right now. But back in the old days, yeah, just hijacking a plane, or I forgot what it was, or just or jumping out of a plane was pretty common. Maybe not that common, but yeah, it was a strange time. Of course, then they had planes with pianos in the past. Of course, they couldn't get people to fly. Now everybody's flying and going insane. So this is fascinating. I mean, the way this guy, I don't know, this guy would just kind of went crazy. So either got possessed by a being that was a timeline jumper. And the energy just came through because the plane did not go into the air. So that's, who knows? It might have prevented something. It's weirdness. Yeah, it's in the cycle. It was on a 6th cycle. He said in this cycle he claimed the plane crashed, everyone died. Then he returned to this point. It's almost like a Twilight Zone episode. I mean, how can you make that up? So there could have been a walk-in experience or some kind of possession. And man, we're going through some strange times as this has become the norm. Yeah, that's I guess you could say let's welcome ourselves to it, but it's going to get more bizarre if that's going to keep happening. I mean, you had the Lizard Man not too long ago, and now you got this Chinese thing. Who knows what else is out there that hasn't been made public? So anyway, we're going to that. Jeez. And this isn't that well known either at all. I don't think I'll post it. I'll show it here in a second. But it has 5 million views, but I don't think it's it's not making the rounds. I don't think. It's the first time I've ever heard about it. Saw Oppenheimer. It's a 3-hour movie. I wouldn't recommend it for most people. It's so boring, but it was good. It's hard to. At near the end, it just got long-winded, but this is definitely not for everybody. But we are. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're all here, or some of us are here, because we do have the means to blow the planet up. I realize with the whole human trafficking thing, obviously that's a major problem and everything. But the other problem is we came close to destroying the planet, basically. So then there's that. You won't have to worry about human trafficking. You won't have a planet. But we still came close to it, even if it will be prevented. Obviously, there's many forces here are still trying to do it. So it's still making attempts, though. Not that we're seeing it, but we're not always going to see everything. So, tapping into those energies. I mean, also the Zetas have been through these type of, like it's why certain people have Zeta connections is because of other versions of Earth being destroyed. And so you incarnate here into this version of Earth without knowledge of a doomed Earth. That's one way of looking at it. Yeah, there are controversial things that are going through. Well, so if you're a human race that loses control over itself, destroys itself, and now you're like these kind of Zeta-looking creature beings from atomic explosions or whatever it might be. But you also have the means of technology to go to other dimensions. You come to our dimension trying to save yourself and even warn us about what's going on. So, it sounds like a science fiction movie, but, it's, there's a lot of things that don't make a whole lot of sense here. So all that's possible. So, was a life is stranger than fiction, right? Of course, also have people here or the Arcturian memories. They have to give us some kind of free will. They can't just tell us what to do. I mean, they can't just keep us from everything. But this world is so far kept in line, even if it is devouring itself and becoming so, turning into Barbie or whatever that's going. It's funny how they, like, you walk out of Oppenheimer, kind of like, damn, that's messed up. It's just messed up. And people walking out of Barbie are breaking up with their relationships and all giggly and whatever the hell's going on with them. Talk about a dynamic difference there. I felt Oppenheimer's energy around the end of it. It just feels sad because it's you're part of death, basically. Part of the atomic age, but you don't hear about that talked about in our modern, because they're not dropping nuclear bombs anymore. They did back in the 50s. They did all the time. So it's just something we're just not we're not really healing it that well, really. We're still going through all these mind control programs. Of course, the Nazis are obviously here in different forms, manipulating our modern reality, obviously. It's like Pfizer and so on. There's some obvious infiltration. Of course, we have shadow government energies. So they're gone, but maybe from sight. But we're definitely experiencing a lot of what they're doing. And also the secret space program, energies, galactic information, and, obviously some are like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just so many people are confident they're tapping into what's happening in space programs. Obviously, they're not going to tell us what's really going on. I mean, you might get versions of it. You might get some old information, but they're not going to tell you what's happening right now. That'll drive you insane. So I know, and then it's like all of a sudden you're going to get this secret information from the secret space program, make a YouTube video about it, and it's going to be okay. How does that work exactly? It doesn't work that way. You don't put secret information out there. So it's like, some of this, a lot of it's probably old information, but it's just hilarious. So it's a comedy show. It really is. It's kind of sad, actually. So many are pulled into that mentality. I think they got it figured out, which you're just not allowed to know. I don't know if you want to know. I mean, they're writing books about this stuff, and it's like, It's hearsay. Yeah, you're gonna get fragments of it here and there, but you're not gonna get the real deal. They're not gonna tell you. It's just I don't think you'd be able to sleep at night or think clearly or even function in this reality if you knew what was happening. I don't. They don't call it the secret space program for at least aliens though. They call it their wives, but but they are trying to keep us sane in some form or another. Not that they're keeping their sanity that well, but there is obviously a galactic war around our planet. Um, it's kind of off limits, obviously. They're just it's not as intense as some might think it is, but either way, I don't tap into it very often. I feel like I need to bring it up for some bizarre reason. Don't ask me why. So, all right, I guess they're talking to me. I guess I don't talk. I don't pay attention to it that much or ever. I just don't. I mean, is it going to all secret information from the secret space program? Is that going to help you like figure yourself out? It's like, is that going to help you just self love? Is that going to help you? No, probably not. Will it entertain you or get your mind thinking about something different? Yes. Now those are actually getting tortured. They feel like they're getting mentally attacked. That's a whole different story. Like if it's part of your life, like you can't release it, that's different. Others are just grabbing on the straws that's not there. It's like just leave it alone. But some are definitely dealing with it, and mentally, internally. Yeah, it's like it's part of their experience here. Now, sometimes it's used to manipulate our reality too. So they can take us off course in some cases, not always. So it's like, hey, just focus on us, focus on the aliens, don't focus on yourself, focus on Jupiter or something. It's a solar system. Focus on that, like that matters. Yeah, don't focus on yourself, healing depression or figuring yourself out on different your talents. Just focus on space, and that's all that matters. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, it's definitely manipulation there for sure. So that's why I call it spirit war or spiritual war or spiritual warfare, I guess. All right, so I just want to comment for sessions. Scheduler, shop here, webinars, social network behind the scenes, and the archive. I'll go to that plane. Well, it's in Chinese. Can't. Anyway, this is the text. Censored Man is on Twitter. I didn't look at this other stuff, but this is the text of it again. It just so obviously it's before the plane takes off and he's going crazy. What? Yeah, he's on the sixth loop. It's fascinating. I have to admit. Please open the door for me. Shit. That's that's fascinating. I don't think he's doing that to get attention. I don't think any of it. Yeah, why would you do that? I mean, you're going to throw you in jail or some kind of psych ward or something. So yeah, he definitely went crazy. Either it's a walk-in or he taps into another reality, which definitely can happen. So yeah. Jeez. Yeah, some of these planes go through like another reality, you can say. I don't like this other stuff here. Anyway, you never know. Yeah, that's where it gets kind of strange. You tap into this stuff, all of a sudden the shadow government shows up. Yeah. And you want your secret information is a knock on the door. Yeah. All right, we're going to time loop energies, and then atomic age and secret space. I don't think it's going to be going to what's really going on, but what's happening to something like that. So Great blessings. Greece, we are from the spirit realms, or you say the astral realms, however you want to word it, doesn't really matter. But there are souls that do jump from one reality to the other. Now, I was going to save that flight. It is possible, but it is showing you what world you're going into. This won't happen constantly, but it's like UFO sightings. It's going to happen every once in a while. Well, because you're becoming more aware of time travelers that are here. Every once in a while, they'll make themselves known. Because for it to be made public is, if it absolutely needs to be, it'll find a way. Obviously, you have UFO sightings that are real, so it's the same situation, and eventually you'll have literally alien beings showing up on. Not yet, but it's coming. It's a wolf. If you have like a strange green or a reptilian for that matter show up on a plane, I don't think that would last so long. The plane might not last very long in the sky. So you have to be careful where these certain situations occur. But it is showing you this is your shift that's occurring. It's just becoming more documented. It has been going on for some time, but now it's coming more into your consciousness. It's just like you're part of a different time, obviously, than the past. You've had mythical beings, and now you're just going through a spiritual awakening, unlike anything you've ever experienced. Not every era has to have to be the same. Like they're not going to have mythical beings appearing here. Technically, it already happened in the past, so it doesn't need to happen in your future. I mean, it will eventually when you become more peaceful here, or aligned to your destiny, aligned to more of the other worlds, you can say. You're not quite there yet for obvious reasons. Yeah, you still have a lot of inner work to do, as you can see. But you are making progress if you need a progress report. We have some kind of a whooper time traveler showing up, say it's from another version of Earth. This is a sixth whoop and everything. It shows that you're in the right direction. It might be a unsettling direction. It might be yes scary, but in the time of mythology or the mythical beings during the time of Atlantis, that was a strange time also. So yes, this is the new norm. Doesn't mean it has to happen on an airplane. And you'll know if it's real or not. Some might just do it. If they fake it, you can probably tell. Some will be pranksters and do things just to get attention. And that'll most likely come out. You're not, it's going to come into like you won't really know. Some will become very good at it, but there will be definitely real ones for sure. And usually you can tell. Well, there's no profit from this. There's like people are going crazy. They're bringing in new dimensions here. This is the new norm for you. So, greetings. This is consciousness from your Zeta race or just your human race, actually. The atomic time, well, yes, it's not mentioned for various different reasons. Well, you haven't healed from that time period either, from World War II. You're still going through the tremors of it. Even if many of you are not looking, I just see your freedoms are being manipulated. Government is getting worse, more demonic. Actually, it was pretty bad before, but you can say it's more reptilian-like. So you are going to a disclosure as you see more psychotics, especially in your government, literally freely showing how insane they truly are. like you're a stepping stone to your alien reality, technically. Yes, you're not quite there yet, but the more of these politicians are showing how they don't care and how evil they are, is showing that you're moving to more of the shadow energies of eventually, yeah, you'll have some senators' eyes shifting, reptilian like. It's not all reptilians, but there's a presence there and become more well known. Every once in a while, I'll be brought to your public. Uh, it's like a slow pace into your ascension world. Because you have a time traveler showing up. Eventually, going to see we see government because obviously that's from other galaxies, other star systems trying to rule your world. And it's like a coming out party. Maybe not one that you're looking for, but is one that is inevitable. So when they're being this demonic to society, it's showing those that have a clutches on your planet. They have a president doesn't make much sense, or not even there mentally, which is actually common on other worlds similar to like prison planets for sure. It's just like showing a mockery of society, basically. But it's also part of your awakening process. Yes, not to get hijacked again. So it doesn't mean alien energy is going to appear not as no, but every once in a while more disclosure will occur of just shape shifting energies. It will be caught on video eventually. Every now and then. Now, if you look at your governments or any of them around the world, it just feel like there's a galactic presence there because there is. And they're just trying to, it just, these are shadow beings that were, been controlling your world since Atlantis, actually. They've been recycling here forever. And they feel like they know more than, humanity. They're very arrogant. Obviously, doesn't mean they're the smartest beings. They're just ones that, indulge in power. They just suck off like vampire beings to start. Well, they actually make vampires look pretty bad, actually. Vampires are not perfect. They're not horrible. They have their issues, but they're not always diabolical. Some of them are. But the ones that you have here just don't care about anything. As you can see, don't care about the water supply, food supplies. They just don't care. They want you, yes, as diluted as you already know, diluted, disconnected, not paying attention to them. Well, it's on a spiritual level. So as more of you become more spiritually powerful, you better see through what's really here. You're already doing that already, but more will occur. Basically, enough of you that can, are ready for what is here. Slowly, it will start to disclose, such as the reptilian presence here. Obviously, once again, there's other beings here, but the reptilian presence is basically that's like the armor that they use to control your world. But obviously, there's much more to it than that. They're just like your world under their own enslavement, but still they use the reptilian hold on their planet because it just has the agenda programmed into their DNA and just continue to keep your world hostage. Obviously, society on the public level laugh it all off because they're obviously not ready. And shadow energies do not want to be disclosed anyway. So they're going to do everything they can for you to look the other way. But it's inevitable for them to not be able to hide anymore. So that's part of your ascension. Is that those in the shadows can't hide anymore. Brings via your Pleiadians. Of course, that's with other alien species you can connect to galactic federations if you want to. Galactic federations are, just like your government. They tell you what you want to hear and then tell you to go away and give you false hopes. So there are some alien groups you can tap into actually tell you what's going on. Obviously, they can't go into all details for various different reasons. Well, it's like we would want to tell you everything Not that we can, but your world is not designed to understand it, to hear it. Now, some of you might be able to tap into some of the galactic realms to a certain level. But once again, yes, some of this is old information. We're just kind of giving you something. Just you can tap into their energies here. We're just giving you something that is not classified. Let's put it that way, because that does exist in our realms also. When you're dealing with a world like this, you have to be secure. Just because alien groups can get infiltrated also. It's just a fourth dimension. We're just one line. We're just a dimension different than yours. Of course, you are connected to fourth dimensions at certain levels, but not the galactic level, not yet. We have too many serpents on your planet, as you can, too many agendas keeping humans under so much mind control. Of course, many of you agreed to it just so you could be human here. Basically, you agreed to the program just so you can function here. Doesn't mean you agree to it, doesn't mean you want anything to do with it. You just be part of the system to a certain level. You don't have to believe in anything that's here, but just to function as a human. Let's put it that way. You have to have some kind of programming here to be a human. You have the basics of it. Many here are rejecting that. I mean, they're literally like scratching their body. It's like, how do I get out of this thing? How do I get my soul out of it? I think many of you already thought of that. I mean, like it's almost like looking for a zipper. So you can just, or DNA activation. You just push a button, and now you're out of the body, and now you're somewhere that you'd rather be. Yeah, many of you will probably raise your hands for that one. As for the galactic knowledge that's here, obviously, you'd be surprised as being told your society just to keep you happy. Just to keep, the people at a sanity level. Doesn't mean it's like the end of the world, nothing like that. It's just, they cannot reveal what's really happening here. Of course not. But there's all those different futures that alien groups see. You can discern it all you want. You still won't be able to tap into what's going on. You can imagine what's happening here. That's fine. But it's just for your safety for various different reasons. Obviously, men are going to complain about that. Here are a world of complainers also, which is understood due to the system that's here. But think about it. Many of you come here into the prison to break others out. So it doesn't look at it as a prison, but technically it is. Well, it's a conscious prison, prison of the mind. And you're figuring out ways of breaking out society. So it's one way of looking at it. That's all we have for you. Blessings.